people, it's Ebony and Botany. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing part 2 of investing in you. I said I was going to do a few videos just on my foreign investment journey. So that's what you're here for today. If you are new, I do videos on hospitality and tourism on the continent of Africa, as well as some entrepreneurial tips, which is what you're seeing today, and just a little insight into my everyday lifestyle. So let's get started. Today we're going to elaborate on my previous video on investing in you. So if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you go back to part 1 of investing in you, and that gave a little background of my journey of deciding how I was going to be an entrepreneur and then ultimately a foreign investor. Now I'm going to tell you about like the second part of that journey and how we even got started. Like I said before, we were talking to our business partners there, and we decided to register a business, and hospitality and tourism was the industries that we chose in both Tanzania and the Kingdom of Eswatini. And I'm excited for you guys to meet my business partner in Eswatini because he is going to be coming on here. It's he and his wife, but the husband, Daniel, will be coming on here to my channel to talk to you guys about the kingdom and give you some inside information, some fun facts, and all of that, so you can learn about Eswatini, because it is a very unique country and a country that I think everyone should go to because they have so much rich history. But I digress. So let's get back to part 2, part Billy, part Der, part Dos, because I'm a savage. Classy, bougie, ratchet. Okay, anyway, sorry guys, you know I get a little sidetracked. But getting back to the foreign investment. So once we decided that the industries we wanted to invest in were going to be hospitality and tourism, that's what we started researching. So I want you to keep in mind that we were researching foreign investment in Tanzania specifically for about probably 3 years. And you know, my husband helped me with it, of course, because he's Tanzanian, but we were trying to figure out how we could become foreign investors, because it's one thing to be from a country and, you know, grow up there and live there. It's another thing to be a business owner. So that's still, even for most Tanzanians, that's like starting from scratch. So we decided to go hospitality and tourism. Once we made that decision, then of course we had to do our research on what the need was. Now, the advice I always give entrepreneurs when they ask me, for example, you know, how do I decide what I want to do and if what I choose is going to be successful? The answer I always give is successful business owners solve a problem. They have a solution for a need or something that is lacking in that environment, in that industry, or in that space. So people that are successful are able to come up with something that is going to solve a problem. And we looked at different areas within that industry to figure out what would make us unique and what was something that we could offer that either was not being offered in that manner or that was not being offered in the way that we were going to present it. And that's what sparked that. So as you know, in Tanzania, so my company is First Class Africa, and our niche is luxury hospitality and tourism. So we provide 5-star white glove service for people that are looking for assistance and when they go to visit, tour, or move to Tanzania. We offer services like, I always say we're like the Hilton of hospitality services. So if you want that VIP feeling, if you want you know, that VIP type of atmosphere when you go to Tanzania, that's what you call us for. Those are some of the same services that I use when we travel to other countries with my family. And then in Eswatini, we also offer hospitality and tourism, but with a little bit of a twist, and that company is First Class Hospitality, and there we offer hospitality classes and customer service classes for companies that want to level up their level of service that they provide to their clients. And they can send their employees or their staff to us anywhere from the janitorial level to the CEO level to get certified in extra training to advance their skills. So once we decided that that was going to be our niche, We then we completed our research. We also partnered up with people who are local, so they understand the business world. They understand how to navigate the business world there. They understand the intricacies of how to get businesses done and registered, approved. Then it just came down to developing our infrastructure and our foundation. And that, of course, takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of starting and stopping, a lot of revisions. It can be quite frustrating because as soon as you think you're done and you have it right, then something else comes up. That's the part that drives me crazy. I would say my biggest weakness as an entrepreneur is I have no patience. I mean, I don't. And I think that's also characteristic of just being American. You know, I want things done yesterday, and when they're not, I just become very frustrated. So I've had to learn to take it down a couple of notches and have some patience, because we are very committed to making sure that everyone that we use, all the vendors or anyone that we use to help us, like graphic designers, social media managers, we make sure that they're all local people, and that we hire people that are local to the country so that we can make sure those dollars are being recycled back. So that just requires some patience. So that is like part 2 of how we went from deciding, or how I went from deciding that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, to making contacts with people to help me develop my business, to then figuring out how to launch my business. So it goes from the vision to a written down idea is what I did, to a lot of research, to making connections, and then those connections then turned into partnerships, which then turned into a development of an infrastructure and foundation that we could then have a business plan to take to the tourism department or the government there to then register our company and get it started. So it sounds quick, but it took quite a bit of time. We were nearing probably year 2 before we even were ready to announce that we even had a business. So, and that was not, keep in mind, we're still not profiting here yet. Like we're not getting any profits. There's no revenue. This is all, between my partners and I, this is all of us just even getting the business legitimized and registered, and saying that on paper, okay, we are registered with the government, we are now a legitimate business. So now what? And in the interim, you also have to remember, we're also putting I cannot talk. We're also putting capital into the business. So any business requires a lot of capital. And especially if you're doing an international business, you have to make sure that the graphic designers are paid, all the people that are going to help you to get this business up and running and to a certain level. And the businesses that we decided to invest in or develop, we wanted to make sure that they were top notch. And top notch requires top dollar. So that was another task or challenge, to make sure that we were doing things wisely, that we weren't wasting any time or money, that anything that we put money into was going to yield some type of result, because the last thing you can afford to do is waste money, especially when you're not making money yet. And most businesses, do not see a profit within the first, 1 to 5 years, depending on what country you're in and what you're doing. And one other caveat to that was understanding the business laws of the country that we were in. The last thing you want to do is cut corners and try to get things approved, or try to pay someone to push something through, and then you're a year or 2 into your business, and all of a sudden you get shut down because you didn't do things the way that you were supposed to. So that took a little bit of time, because things there move a lot slower. So once you submit some paperwork, sometimes it takes a while for them to even get back to you and say that you're approved and you have the green light to go. So that was another part that took a little bit of time as well, because we had to wait for approvals. We had to wait for people to process paperwork. A lot of times they would come back and say they needed things that I was not accustomed to giving in the US. You know, they wanted to see this document and that document, and they, you know, needed different things just because their system is just different. So that was something else that was a little bit challenging, but you know, we got through it and we got everything approved, and here we are today. So that was my journey to getting our businesses registered, and I would say officially launched on, not officially, I would say legally launched, because that doesn't even start the whole marketing, promotion, and the official launch. And I have a whole story around our launch and just keeping the faith and keeping focus and not losing hope that your business is going to be successful, because we had a huge launch scheduled in the Kingdom of Eswatini that got canceled after we had invested a lot of time and money into it right when the pandemic hit. Our launch was scheduled for March, and if you recall, globally, March was the height of the pandemic. We had tickets bought and everything, and we tried everything under the sun to try to see if we could still make it work, and ultimately it just didn't work. So that goes back to my tip about timing that I said in my first video, part 1 of investing in you, and understanding that, you know, you may have things timed out one way in your head, and that's just not the way the universe wants it to work. So that was very defeating. My heart was a little bit hurt with that one, because we had everything ready to go and it was going to be huge, but it is what it is. So now here we are, and I feel like we're coming back bigger and better. So that was part 2, part Billy, part deux, part dos. I don't know why I'm into these languages right now, but anyways, you get the point. So thanks for joining me for this part. If you have questions that you would like for me to answer or comments, please leave them below. I'll be happy to try to see if I can answer a lot of those in my next video. And in the meantime, look out for the videos launching First Class Africa and First Class Hospitality. We are elated to see the fruits of our labor coming through in a big way, and I cannot wait to share it with the YouTube world, because thus far only our clients who have been contacting us directly have been able to kind of see what we do and how we do it. But now that I have this platform, I'm able to share it with a lot more people. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. And until next time, bye guys.